Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another episode of the Forever Forward podcast. And today I have a very special guest. And I say special because forever I've been wanting energy retailers to play or energy utility companies to play a very important role in the built environment and smart building space. So I have Kritika, who represents CLP Smart Energy Connect, and they've been doing awesome work. So, hey, Kritika, firstly, a very warm welcome to you on the Forever Forward podcast.
Thanks, Umesh. And wow, that's a lovely introduction.
No, I probably
Yeah,
haven't started with the introduction yet.
yeah,
Now, so
really
just
glad
to
to be here.
thank
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
Kritika. So just to introduce everyone to Kritika, Kritika has been approximately 4 years with CLP Smart Energy Connect. CLP is a big energy utility company based out of Hong Kong. I mean, I think a lot of it has global presence as well via some of its investments, so on and so forth. But I think what really intrigued my interest was the very focused work that the group that Kritika represents and the team that Kritika represents is doing around smart buildings, technology, and built environment, which is like very very different. And that's what I thought that we'll get Kritika to come share her experience. She's also had stint with likes of Infosys, Schneider. So Kritika, I'll love for you to talk about your sort of past, not just in terms of what you've been doing at CLP, but also your education and all that led up to you doing what you're doing right now at CLP.
Thanks, Umesh. Yeah. I'll make that a quick intro on the past, but I think yeah, it all adds up. So I studied economics in Delhi at Lady Shri Ram College. And then I started working at ICRA, which is Moody's subsidiary,
Mm-hmm.
more on the trading side of things. And I was looking at public finance. So with that, it was state governments in India looking at their credit profile, looking at how to assess their credit rating. And the reason we were doing that when our major clients were state government entities raising bonds for infrastructure projects, and that
Mm-hmm.
included power utilities and discoms in
Okay.
India. And we
Okay.
know that the financial situation around that time when I was working there, it was 2011, 2014, and we had a lot of losses and
Hmm.
debt, those kind of entities. But there were, it was a good exposure because I got an understanding of, how to um, evaluate the state finances, and then because these are all guaranteed bonds, so
Hmm.
everything that the state's credit profile is what actually mattered more than the entity's profile. So
Makes
there was a
sense.
lot of exposure, yeah, on that front. I did that for 3.5 years, and then I decided to do my MBA, and I came to Hong Kong. So it was a dual program, University of Hong Kong, London Business School. I spent time in Beijing, Hong Kong, London, Myanmar, gathering exposure through internships, through courses across these countries. And then I landed up at Schneider Electric post my MBA in a strategy role, looking at building management systems and exactly this, the building analytics, the software side of building solutions.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I think as an MBA doing strategy, it was more around, okay, let's try to figure out where is the potential, what kind of products or what kind of startups should Schneider be looking at, and how should they actually approach
Hmm.
this in terms of acquisition or doing what or divestment of what they were currently
Hmm.
having in their
Hmm.
portfolio.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Right. So I think the action I would say was not so much in Hong Kong. On the strategy side, it was more in US, mainly in Boston, where the office was.
Hmm.
And I would say that it was a great kickstart into this domain, and my interest peaked with the possibility of using this data that Schneider was sitting on from their BMS and how that for different type of analytics and energy saving and those kind of efforts.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and then it happened that with Infosys, the consulting arm in Hong Kong, with CLP is one of the major clients, doing more, I would say, documentation,
So,
e-documentation kind
so
of.
CLP ended up poaching you from Infosys, is it? Just kidding.
No, not at all.
Just kidding.
Really went to CLP.
Okay. Just kidding. I'll add my sense of bad humor once in a while. So excuse me for that.
Okay. Yeah, but CLP, China Light and Power, based in Hong Kong, fully vertically integrated
Hmm.
utility company, serving 2.5 million customers in Hong Kong, supplying 80% of electricity to the Hong Kong population. Major player, and having a very strong decarbonization target. When I
Hmm.
joined back in 2017, they like Hong Kong was 50% powered by coal,
Okay.
and 50 and sorry, the rest of the 50% was divided between natural gas and nuclear.
Hmm.
And CLP had a mandate of decarbonization not only for Hong Kong, like their own operation, but also for
Right.
customers.
Hmm.
And towards that end, they launched an innovation team to start looking into what these decarbonization technologies can be, what are some of the new business models that CLP can explore. And
Wonderful.
given that this is regulated, they had to have a deregulated entity who could actually explore these opportunities.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, when I joined as a consultant, there was no team, there was no concrete idea, there was just an innovation uh, person, just one person working in innovation and looking at, okay, we need to start something. We need to do something related to energy saving for
Hmm.
our customers, related to sustainability, and make that real.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's where my journey started for the first time with CLP through Infosys.
Perfect. So, I mean, that's obviously, from economics to, but then you had your Power Connect. I mean, back in India when the work they did, we're not going to talk about the health of the power utilities in India. That's
Yes.
that's for the next decade for us to talk about. But so taking clue where you said that when you came into CLP via everything that you had done, it was very early days, almost like a startup. Like you start from scratch. You literally. What were the early days like? I mean, for you as an individual, but also for CLP, SEC, and probably a connected question. Maybe it depends on which order you would want to answer. What's an energy utility company doing at all in the energy sort of the build environment space? I understand the decarbonization angle, but
Mhm.
not a very
Yeah.
popular move globally.
Yeah, and I think what SEC's journey is ties into my personal journey as well, because every
Hmm.
step was together, like figuring out what actually is the product or what actually is the domain that we needed to build something.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
think the idea was we needed to connect, or CLP needed to connect with customers
Hmm.
who were changing, who had these changing needs of, and that revolved around reducing their
Hmm.
electricity bill.
Hmm.
And the key, the fuel for CLP, the power is the electricity that we provide. So
Makes
if our
sense.
customers in the future are looking to reduce their energy consumption,
Right.
what I think that the management decided what kind of role does CLP want to play? Do you
Hmm.
just want to sit on the sidelines and see how this plays out and who the customer goes out to, or do you want to have some sort of solutions for the customer so they can see CLP as a player in this change, right?
Hmm.
And that's where in the beginning, I would say it was important for CLP to understand that, yeah, we need to have some digital technology, some tools
Hmm.
to enable this transition. But
Right.
what would these tools actually do, and what would they enable the customer to do?
Right.
So I think like in the beginning, there were a lot of, like for me, I worked on solar application. I worked on some sort of tool to connect with the customers who were adopting rooftop solar in the early days and
Hmm.
seeing how much energy they are producing and then how much can they earn from the feed-in tariff scheme that was
Right.
being launched.
Right.
Those were some of our early products, I would say. And
Hmm.
then I think the opportunity itself was not big enough here in
That's
terms of
only on the solar rooftop part of it. Okay. Okay.
yes,
Hmm.
only on the solar rooftop part. But
Hmm.
we needed to find a bigger opportunity with a higher impact on the customers. And I think that's where we recognize that buildings consume like 90% of electricity in Hong Kong. Within buildings, of course, we know the HVAC, heating,
Right.
ventilation, and conditioning consuming 60%. And then that became the target to find a digital product that could help save energy for commercial buildings.
Hmm.
Um, and primarily because our target customers are big property developers in Hong Kong that own majority of the buildings and
Hmm.
across different. So whether it's a shopping mall, whether it's an office space, it's a data center,
Hmm.
you have you have a big opportunity if you can make the right case with the property developer.
Makes sense. Makes
So
sense.
yeah, that's where that was the opportunity, and the way that CLP SEC approached it was to actually find the players, the technology players who had established products in other markets and bring them to
Think
Hong
them into.
Kong, find the commercial success, rather than start developing something from the scratch or try to launch a new product which was not proven elsewhere. I think the idea was, this is proven, it can save you energy, let's do it in Hong Kong. So
So, so just
yeah.
curious on that. I mean, there are two things. So one, you say that almost 80% of the electricity or energy supply is via CLP. You almost monopolized, right? Why would you even have to bother about innovation? Because I've heard this along, like every time whenever you're having a conversation with someone in the energy retail side and saying, hey, our business is doing good. We're 25-30% of the market. Why even bother? So just wanted to understand, were there initial friction that you CLP SEC as a team had to overcome while promoting these internally? Would
Yes.
love to have some light on that. I was hoping for, I mean, I was sure for a yes, but so now I'm more intrigued about how are you going to describe that further for us, Kritika?
Yeah, I think yes. The first challenge was internal, definitely. Like internally making the case of existence of this CLP SEC team, right? So when it wasn't a team, it was just a room in the head office. And in that room were two people who were trying to make prototypes, wireframes, and go to key stakeholders and showcase. And I was one of those people who, in the first case, were like, firstly, who are you? Why do you want a meeting with me? And if that meeting was granted, what do you want me to do with this information? My business is not changing anytime soon, and I don't see how your app or your prototype can benefit me in any way. It was almost like naive to be like, oh, look at my application, which can help visualize all your data in one place. And it was just around visualization and analytics at that time. And there was also a question about, why can't IT do what you are doing? Why do we need you? So there were a lot of these kind of aspects coming in. But I think what I would like to commend is, management's, especially our senior
Support.
director, Austin's vision around why this innovation function was important for CLP. It was not only related to internal use case or helping our learn customer, but also for this department kind of to form its own top line contribution to CLP Group.
Wow.
And yeah, if you continue, down the path of the regulated business, of course, that has a guaranteed rate of return with the government of Hong Kong. So I don't think that, people are not worried about that happening anytime in the next 10 years. But I think having that capability, having that connection with the customers, and also recognition that, hey, CLP is doing something to achieve this decarbonization, not only internally, but also for customers.
For customers. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think that was a key aspect. Yeah.
So I mean, I love this fact that you as a company knew that your main business was not going anywhere for whatever reason, but still wanted to be more close to the customer, come across as an entity which knows that you'll probably buy electricity, but there's a bit more love. You'll help them save cost and energy. So that's wonderful. Brings me to the second question over there. Cross the initial hurdles. Where is CLP SEC today? How many people? What's your moonshot looking like? And a connected question: Do you walk around with a little bossy feeling around the office, not being in that one room in the office anymore?
Yeah, we have our own office space now. That happened in 2018, so it's been a few years. But the team expanded from about I would say 10 people to 40, almost 40 people now. In
That's
Hong
big.
Kong Technology Park. So, we kind of enjoy that startup kind of vibe. But having said that, our presence and our acknowledgement in the group also increased. So initial days, we would call them zoo days, where we would just invite different departments to come to our office and see firstly, who is there? What are we doing? What have we achieved? What are our products? How are we engaging with customers? What are customers saying about our products?
Hmm.
And even like at the CEO level and that executive committee level have visit our office every year to see
Hmm.
what this
Hmm.
team is actually doing. So I think there is a lot of love given by management, and also
Wonderful.
now other departments are understanding that these people are not just some stepchildren doing something, but they actually achieved product delivery. And
Wonderful.
I just want to mention that those products are mainly around energy optimization in commercial
Right.
building, like plant optimization software, energy benchmarking software.
Right.
We also have airside optimization, hardware, software solution, an entire IoT platform for smart office. So all these different type of products, I would say we're working with 15 different partners from
Hmm.
across. Like we
Hmm.
have partners, obviously coming from China, Hong Kong, Australia,
Hmm.
Spain, Portugal, also Israel. So we have partnered with different type of hardware plus
Ah,
software solutions, and
makes
either we're
sense.
exclusive distributors or non-exclusive partners, and then we
Hmm.
package that solution to ultimately provide an integrated solution to the customers. So yeah, and I would say that we've also achieved internal targets around revenue and also around carbon dioxide emission reduction for our customers. So
Well,
I
that's
think
it.
those are two aspects that we focused on the building energy management side. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, I mean, obviously, you mentioned that. So, congratulations on not being a stepchild anymore in the business, which is a wonderful feeling. But I mean, I've been personally following a lot of your work over the lot in your as in SEC's work over the last 2 to 3 years, and it's been super encouraging to see that you guys continue to put in the kind of effort you are putting in, because I think it's uh, and who probably would know it better than you would, having had your stint across from Schneider and stuff. Smart buildings and the built environment is complex for whatever reason, and a number of reasons. What's been some of your learnings and challenges so far, particularly from the customer side of things? You spoke about the challenges that have been there from internally, but what's been there from the customer side of things?
Yeah, for me, I think I would say that technology adoption, any new technology adoption is not obviously not easy, and
Hmm.
especially in the B2B space, because of sales cycle and because of proving technology takes longer. So obviously that timeline is
Hmm.
one thing.
Hmm.
But for me, what I was doing was basically bringing an established technology of, from another market into Hong Kong, and
Hmm.
then pitching that to customers, big property developers who manage, electricity bills of over $1 million, right? And then having them to adopt these technology solutions and see the value from it. I think that was a bit challenging in the beginning. There were two types of customers: one who are open to new technology, and
Hmm.
then one who were like, I had no idea what this product from Australia can do for me. Why are you pitching this to me?
Hmm.
So I think for me, the key learning was how to make that match with the customer's strategy, as in what are they looking for and why are they looking for this kind
Hmm.
of a
Hmm.
solution? Is it
Hmm.
coming from senior management? Is it coming from facility management team? Is it coming
Makes
from
sense.
sustainability team? Who are the key stakeholders and how many stakeholders do I need to engage with to actually make a case?
Right.
The second aspect was linked to more around the trial and learning aspect.
Hmm. Hmm.
So for all our products, we do have a trial case,
Right.
whether internally, whether with customers, and doing that deployment obviously takes time. But what I learned was finding the right site is very, very important.
True that.
Sites and that discovery takes time because each product is different, and for
Right.
each product the right site is different, whether you want to match the data points, whether you want to see how sophisticated the BMS is. If you can even control the key points on the BMS, then your optimization technology makes sense. Otherwise, like what can you do with a very basic 30-year-old BMS which may not have those features that
Those
you
features.
need for
Hmm.
the software to make that 20% 30% energy saving.
Savings.
So I think a lot of my learning came on the ground, being able to go on site visits, looking at the chiller plant setups, looking at how this actually works out, which are the brands which are more likely to not open their BMS data for you versus brands which are willing to cooperate. So you kind of get that idea as well. So I think those were some of the on-site learnings. And I think the final third aspect is more around how the match between the ROI and the price.
Hmm.
So we are looking at products which are not primarily from Hong Kong, maybe Europe, Australia, US, and then the pricing is completely different in such markets. And
Hmm.
somehow working with all these partners, they can assume Hong Kong is one of the most expensive cities.
So
So
they jack the
why can't
prices
you,
up, they jack the prices
yeah,
up and
why
say I
can't you
should
use the
get more.
European prices? And I'm like, no, this is not, we are ultimately an Asian country. You
Price
cannot use-
sensitivity is there. So yeah.
yeah. You cannot use your European price list here. So, coming to that understanding of what is that price point that can work. Even SaaS, selling SaaS is not easy here. Like the concept of,
There's still more involvement towards the conventional software, on-premise,
yeah,
licensing.
one-time payment. Why do I need to pay record? Why is it cloud-based? Those were some of the initial discussions and conversations that we had to work with a bit more like I would say risk friendly, or I would say like more progressive kind of customers that
Customers.
wanted to
Hmm.
explore, these new
Hmm.
technologies.
Hmm.
And
Hmm. Hmm.
finally, the ROI piece is so important. Like, ultimately they have to support their business.
Hmm.
And if we are set, deploying any kind of technology, we have to show them a payback. We have to show them by when can your payback be achieved. Most of
Right.
our technology solutions, some of the best products have a 2 to 3 year payback. But then there might be another reason why somebody is looking at, the payback might be calculated differently. It might just be a digitization piece that they want to do. So then some of our products
So
go.
for some, maybe the ROI wouldn't really matter because they're probably as a part of an overall tech stack they want it implemented, and there are multiple use cases they would see. So interesting when you mention about ROI, right? And you clearly mentioned that the pricing is not going to work. You can't have the European or the US prices being taken over here, right? So how much do you get involved beyond the selling of the so one when you spoke about the discovery and the time, so it's like typical like a B2B sales process. I mean you've kind of unraveled that, but how much do you get involved beyond the sell that happens, the let's say the trial has happened, or how much do you get involved and stuff like that?
Yeah, so my role is to nurture these partnerships. So I have,
Hmm.
because let's say 20% we are self-developing, we have our own tech team, we do make our own software, but 80% we are partnering. So
Makes
that
sense.
partnership piece becomes increasingly important.
Hmm.
Signing all those legal agreements and those, partnership agreements, that's something that I get involved in very heavily with all the key partners. So whether we have airside technology solution from China, we have a facility management solution from Portugal, we have energy consumption management from Spain, we have a HVAC optimization and chiller plant optimization product in Australia. So
One that
already,
one
we
that
have,
you're very proud of because
yes,
your LinkedIn just shows the excitement. Hey guys, if
yes.
all of the partners are listening, she's biased towards that particular partner. Just kidding.
It's my first product, so yes.
I think that was one of the questions I would have eventually come to, but yeah, I'll let you complete.
Yeah, so the involvement is around, actually monthly. I have monthly catch ups with all these partners, and it's more about our sales pipeline progress and also
Mm.
some exclusivity targets we have commitments to. So visibility and transparency on that, and any
Awesome.
kind of new opportunities we are exploring beyond Hong Kong, let's say in mainland China. How do we work on those new opportunities? I have to say we have a separate sales team that actually does the deployment, the on the ground connect, management with customers and also
Mm.
the pipeline management.
Mm.
But my role comes more on the partner management to make sure
Perfect.
that this information is shared between the sales and the customers and the partners.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I think very interesting. So I'll probably go to the third aspect of it, the business model of
Yeah.
it, maybe. So are you, because I mean, when you work in the built environment, I'm sure you would have come across as um, different competitors, companies who are facility management companies, the ones who are very large, a couple of them very large, have their own technology fund and stuff like that. So are you kind of ending up competing with people outside of your industry, the likes of the BMS OEMs or facility or property management companies? How's that the competition landscape looking like for you for CLP SEC?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think because we are not only doing products in one domain, which is building energy management, but we are also starting to now look into electric vehicles software products. We're starting to look into, energy storage solutions. So our competitor segment will just keep on expanding. But it's true that,
So probably for different products, you'll have different competition, or different solutions, you'll have different competition, right?
Yes. So either we are, our competitor is an SI, which is, integrating different solution, is the BMS OEM themselves if they have a product, or it's another startup that is based in Hong Kong that's doing their own, own pitch and own customer generation. So that way, it's a combination of, I think, the brand and also the product capability that we need to come in. And that is why we have a very rigorous testing process of every product, so that by the time we go to customer, we know exactly how to deploy it.
So that brings me to and given the fact that you've been involved so much in partners, scouting, and looking for what's there. One question on the business model. So are you going to be turning into energy as a service, or you are eventually going to be a marketplace? You did mention that your energy is a regulated business. So this might be disconnected to the regulated business. So what is it? It's more like a marketplace approach that you're taking and saying that SEC will become more like a marketplace?
By marketplace, do you mean like
you will have aggregation of different products? People can choose what they want to. You would also push in your own product, whichever you are developing, or you are going to be more like saying, okay, hey, you only get this because you're part of you buy electricity from us and stuff like that. So just wanted to understand how what's your business model here?
Okay, in terms of going to customer, because of our unregulated nature of the new like of SEC customers, we can approach any customer. It doesn't have to be the regulated one.
Perfect. So perfect. Yeah.
Partner side, the vision was actually when we began, it was kind of an energy app store wherein we would invite different products to basically self-list, and then if customers were interested, they could like follow up and so that already we looked into that approach. But I don't think that is successful, because ultimately we did want to have a vetting aspect, because our brand and our name was on the line. So I think that we tried that approach, but also that's not how B2B will work. Like the FM person has so many different vendor coming to them and pitching them solutions. He's not going to go online and look for a product. Or even if he doesn't expect to reach out himself, right? Or herself.
So it's like a more like outbound and like
outbound and make those relationships and demonstrate the value of your product. And yes, on vertical side, like on the kind of solutions, when customers also request us for something custom or something very specific, which we don't have in our portfolio, if there's enough justification and enough business case that we can have, we will look and find a product for the customer. But again, it would be like just for one customer, right? If we can actually scale it up to more customers, if it makes sense, then we do look out for new products and technology. Yeah.
Perfect. So one final question for you, Kritika. What are those couple of solutions that you wish to add in 2023? Like what core problems you think you haven't solved via the product basket that you have right now? And what are you aiming for in 2023?
Great. I think, what happened in 2022, from innovation, we became a digital department. We got added formally into a digital team. So, that helps to also connect better with internal needs and requirements, and also align on maybe similar topics that different teams are working on. So that's one internal alignment. Externally, customers are asking to have a better view on their decarbonization By that, I mean, when our products were initially targeting on scope 2 emission, that is the use of electricity, right? We are helping to reduce the use of electricity, thereby reducing scope 2 emission. I think now what customers are looking for across the board is like
More.
entire emissions. What is my scope 1, 2, 3? What does the roadmap look like in the next 30 years? And that's a huge challenge, I think,
Hmm.
for anyone. And then our position, like I would say that CLP's position would be to decide how to approach or tackle this. We have good understanding of our own emission. We have good understanding of somewhat of the customer's emission.
Customers.
Can we take this in a more comprehensive way
Hmm.
forward for our customers? Whether it's by technology, whether it's by whatever business model that we can develop, but actually help to expand that understanding of emission data. Yeah.
Perfect. One final question. Promise this is the final one. If any of the startups watching this would like to reach out to you or CLP SSE and explore prospects, what's the best possible way for them to do so?
I am actually the front facing for all the new technology solutions. So anytime we are looking at new products, the first call would be with me. So you can reach out to me.
So basically, guys, you have to impress Kritika. Otherwise, sorry, just kidding. Once again, that's sense of humor.
Yeah, but we have a team like this department. Yeah, that is basically syncing with different internal departments and also customer side and also like finding that business case is most important.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Hey, Kritika, thank you so much. I mean, I probably have more questions, but I think we'll be running short of time. But I think if I could just do a quick recap and then maybe leave you to have a final remark or something that you would like to add. I think one of my biggest takeaways has been that which I think wasn't unexpected, but something that was very good to hear is the fact that you did have, or any energy utility company trying to get into innovation, particularly from the fact of trying to move away from conventional business to a new digital oriented business, which is more like recurring revenue and stuff, will have internal frictions, which are good because they, like in your case, help you think better about the kind of products and solutions you would want to have. And then obviously once everyone's on board, the journey becomes all the more exciting, and then you're able to do well. So I think that's been a key learning from my side. So hopefully anyone who's listening to this conversation, particularly from the energy utility side of things, if you are not able to impress your seniors or your colleagues, probably show them this podcast. They probably should have a better relation with innovation, sort of going forward. So, I mean, thanks so much, Kritika. This was really wonderful. Anything else that you would like to say that probably you didn't say, and in your final recap?
Yeah, I think what's important for this team to have succeeded, and I would say that for the entire team, is that whenever we heard a no, we didn't take it literally as a no. We tried to find a way to make it happen. And even if it didn't happen, it did not mean that our idea or our business would, has failed. We did try because we believed essentially that this is the future and customers do want this. We kept that contact and that feedback coming in from customers through either way, so whether it's a one-on-one interview, whether it's a concept test, whether it's a UX test, whether it's take my product and try it and tell me if you find it useful. We ensured that the customer voice or the customer feedback for our products was what we based our decisions on, and not just because someone said no to us. Yeah,
that's inspiring, Kritika. I mean, so yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast as much as I enjoyed hosting Kritika, and hopefully we'll have more conversations going forward. Kritika, once again, thank you so much for joining us. You have a great day ahead, and thank you once again. Yeah.
Thank you, Umesh. Thanks a lot. This was fun. Thanks.